What an exciting year 2025 is turning out to be. My name's Jim, you're watching Beyond the Sprue. This is where you get your scale model updates. And we have announcements from Revell and Tamiya and Das Werk and lots of other scale modeling manufacturers. Before we get down to it, there's always a question. Here it is. But first, a short video for you to watch. And then we'll get straight into the question after that.
5, 4-stage engine start. 3, 2, 1. Boosters in ignition. And liftoff.
So what is the primary purpose of the NASA Space Launch System, SLS? Was it A, to launch small satellites into orbit, B, to support deep space exploration missions including Artemis, C, to replace the space shuttle for low Earth orbit missions, or D, to transport astronauts to the International Space Station? Answer, as always, at the end if you don't know it already. And first up, we have Das Werk, who are working in cooperation with Takom, and they're producing a rather impressive and large 1/16 scale German MPT Leopard 2A7V. This is coming with PE parts, a commander figure as well, workable tracks and links, and a number of decal options. So on screen we can see some images of the model as it's proposed, and it does look very impressive, and the size of this it's going to make a beautiful display. So for you arma 1/16 lovers, maybe this is the kit for you. Let me know in the comments if this appeals to you, and let's have a quick look at these images and the detail. I mean, you can really get up close and really look into the model when it's of this size, can't you? Anyway, there we are. That's coming from Das Werk soon. And Tamiya have announced a new 135 scale tooling for a French light tank, the H39. So Tamiya have made this tank so you can assemble two versions, a French army tank and also captured one in the German army, and they modified that tank to suit their own needs, and you can have the modifications on the German version or the original French version. Comes with two figures, a French figure standing and a German commander who's coming out of the cupola. Metal chains are included for the recreation of the French army tank, and looks to be quite exciting. And here we have a release from ICM of a 135 scale Sonderkraft Fahrzeug 251/1, coming with 4 skiing options, and it can be built in multiple configurations with or without machine guns, shields, radio equipment and antenna, and includes detailed interior for both troop and control compartments, ICM. And a company from Singapore called Resin Scales have announced a 3D printed model of the Singaporean M113 Ultra 40/50 APC, and that's coming in at 1/35 scale. Obviously in this size of scale, you're going to get a huge amount of detail, and it's normally costs a little bit more. I have no idea what the cost is, by the way. It's normally a big jump over here from 172 to 135 in costs. Anyway, the detail on that looks incredible. I love the look of it. That's from Resin Scales, and they're from Singapore. And ICM have announced that they're releasing their Ghoulish Canona with cooks, 4 figures coming with that, and a full kitchen as well, and a truck. It's going to be a 1/35 scale. It's coming out very soon indeed. And Andy's Hobby headquarters have released a 1/16 scale M3A1 US half truck. It's a 2-in-1 kit, coming with a huge amount of detail, as you'd expect from Andy's Hobby headquarters. And the kit, as I say, is 1/16. It's a 2-in-1 version. M3 and the M3A1 can be built. Comes with the driver, and that's a full figure. The engine can be completed in full detailed. Incredible amount of detail. was used in the Cold War era as well as during World War II, and was supplied to the US Army and Marines, as well as the British Commonwealth and the Soviet Red Army forces. Meng have announced a new tooling on their 172 scale merkava MK4M. I've built these Meng 172 kits myself. They go together extremely well, make a very authentic looking model, and the detail is high. They have said, Meng, that is, now we present the Israeli merkava MK4M main battle tank, which combines firepower and protection along with the trophy active protection system. Now here's a really nice one from AFV Club in 1/35 scale, the German Army M110 A2G self-propelled howitzer. Lovely looking kit. It's got a new tooling for the high visibility driver protection and support for the canvas roof. On the back there's addition of light armor, and you've got a movable loader and rammer feed trays and traversable elevation arm, and it's in super details. And it's also got a nicely detailed recoil spade and hydraulic system, which is fully workable. The precision injection breech block is accurately replicated as well. Lovely looking kit. And KM models are making two versions of the Panzerjägerfahrzeuge, and as standard it's going to be printed in 135, 148 and 172, and being printed of course means it's a resin model, but if you get in touch with them and you want it in a different scale, they will do that for you. And it's coming with decals, and they're going to be from emission models as well. So all in all, a good looking kit. And if you're looking for something to pack a big punch, then maybe a 1/16 scale German 7.5 centimeter pack 40 anti-tank gun early production model is what you'd be after. Coming from Gecko, as I say, 1/16 scale, so it's going to be a decent size. Comes with an aluminium metal barrel, some 3D printed parts and PE parts, of course. That's from Gecko models. But if you're like, oh, Gecko doesn't do it for me, well, maybe Das Werk will, with their German 7.5 centimeter pack 40, which is mid-late version, 2-in-1 kit, and this is in 1/16 scale, highly detailed. Optional muzzle brakes and wheels for mid-late version, 2 different muzzle brakes, 3 different wheel rim designs, 4 ammunition boxes, 8 ammunition containers, 5 anti-tank and 5 explosive grenades, protective screens for optics can be shown open or closed, and supports can be shown open in combat or transport position, and it includes 3 marking options but no figures. And Copper State Models have given us a sneak peek of their Clino motorcycle, which is currently in development. It's going to be in 1/32 and 1/35 scale. Looking to be rather nice detailed kit. Yeah, I love it. And this release from ICM was caught my eye in 1/24 scale, called the Variants Tin Lizzies. It's coming with 3 Model T variants, including a roadster, a light delivery vehicle, and a fire truck, and represents one of the early 20th century America's most iconic automobiles. Features detailed 4-cylinder engines, chassis components, and body structures. I think they'd make beautiful kits, I really do. And Thunder Models have announced, or given us some images of their 1/35 scale Ward La France M1000 series, 1, 3 and 4, and they say that it's coming very soon. As I say, that's from Thunder Models. And Revell have released a preliminary image of a new Lamborghini Reverso and 1/24 scale. Don't know when it's coming, but it's from Revell, so it'll be soon. And they also released a wonderful image of a McLaren 750S. That's in 1/24 scale. and that is level 3, and new toolings on both these and should be coming with us this year. And something a little bit different from Black Dog, and they've released a diorama base in 1/35 scale, which is a house base, and I just included that as something a little bit different and extra. If you'd like me to include things like this, diorama bases and so on, let me know in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. I can put it in every now and again. Now, of all these toolings, it's unfortunate, but there's hardly any new ships, and very disappointing on the maritime front indeed. However, there is this one, and this is from Special Hobby at the Nuremberg Fair, 172 Creeks Fish Cutter. They say they're not done with it yet, but it is taking shape, and they hope to be finished and on sale by April. And let's excuse the photos because they were taken with a mobile phone in a hall, and the lighting conditions aren't brilliant. But anyway, taste of things to come. So that's some good news. There's a couple of others. There's a lot of resin kits virtually every day, but the small resin kits, so I don't include them. But yeah, so that's quite an exciting one. And then from EV Model, we have a 1/700 scale Italian Navy aircraft carrier, Giuseppe Carrier boarded C551. And from Doi Industries in 1/700 scale, we have a French Navy Cassard F-78 class large air defense destroyer. So resin kit contains resin parts, photo etch parts, decals, metal bows, and 3D printed parts. B&L Models have announced another set from their Street Life of Saigon in the 60s and 70s in 1/35 scale. And Luke Graf are making this Caparoni CA3 bomber crew in 1/32 scale, and they're saying that this will be standard equipment of the kit set. Test print almost successful. There are small corrections to be had, but they hope to have it with you very soon. And Mini Art are making a 1/35 scale US Infantry Tank Riders set, and that's a brand new tooling on that. And Black Snake Models are making in 1/35 scale. These are Waffen SS figures that you can see on the screen. And Other Miniatures are making these 1/35 scale German commanders and soldiers from World War II, as well as these soldiers, and in brackets it says for sidecar, so I'm assuming that it doesn't come with the sidecar. That's 1/35 as well. Soul Models, or Soul Resin Factory, have released some new images of their upcoming release of a 1/35 scale World War II German SD KFZ loading crew. And Hobbyfan have announced a new set of 1/35 scale Ukrainian APC crew, 4 figures in total, and look to have some respectable detail, and should be with us at some point this year. And Soul Model have released 2 new figures, and these are female tank crews in 1/35 and 1/16 scales of the IDF, Israeli Defense Forces Army. And we have some new releases from Live Resin, and these are some Russian sappers and Uran 6 mine clearing vehicles. Some great detail on these. And liveresin.com have released some Russians in OVR2 equipment with extremely high detail, and these are coming in 1/35 scale, and we've got guys who are basically with mine detectors and probes, disarming bombs, carrying disarmed bombs, and sitting there with the AK-74Ms. But the detail on these guys is really incredible, and worthy of a mention for sure. So if you want your Russian sappers and so on, get in touch with that company right now. And Paracel Miniatures are making some 1/35th scale North Vietnam Army tank riders, as well as some tank crews and tank commandos. And Mitches Military Models have announced they're releasing this Ireland vignette depicting a wounded para being recovered by his comrade. Get in touch with them on Facebook, Mitches Military Models, if you're interested. Also on Facebook is St George's Models, and they've announced they're releasing this resin set for a flak, so a flak crew, and get in touch with them via Facebook, St George's Models. And D-Day Miniatures Studios have announced that they're releasing this for Queen and Country special edition set of World War II Dutch soldiers, set in 1940. 6 figures and 2 bicycles in 1/35th scale, 100% handmade and 3D printed. And Wolfpack are bringing out a 1/48 scale T34A Mentor, and this is coming with 4 scheme options, and they've given us some prototype images and built up models for us to look at, and that's from Wolfpack. And AMP are proposing a 1/72nd scale English electric camera B6, and the kit is coming with some PE parts, and I think it's coming with a mask set, and it's looking good. And they've given us some sprue shots for us to look at as well, which are currently on screen. I know that will be of interest to a lot of you. And next we have Arma Hobby announcements of a new Curtis H75 A1 A2, and that's going to be in 1/72nd scale. And they've given us some images for us to look at, as well as showing us the markings, 3 markings that they propose for the aircraft. A&A Models are releasing a Norfolk F15. This comes with a decal sheet and adhesive masks and photo etch parts, and also released Norfolk XP61E. Both of these in 1/72nd scale, and both come with the photo etch and the masks as well. And ICM have announced they're re-releasing their B26G Marauder. It's coming with new parts and markings for 2 options, US and French Air Force. And IBG have released the Spitfire and another one, and in fact they're releasing a lot of Spitfires, I believe all the Mark 1 to Mark 6 and the variants as well. So if you like Spitfires in 1/72nd scale, keep an eye out for IBG, because they're making a lot of them, and they're producing them with all the variations as well, including the PR versions. And Fine Molds are producing this very attractive looking F2A fighter in the 3rd Squadron at the Japan Air Self-Defense Force markings, 70th anniversary. They've given us some prototype models for us to look at, and it does look very smart indeed. I must say, I do like it when the manufacturers give us a picture of a made-up model to look at, and brings it to life really well. Anyway, this kit is coming with 2 scheme options, and that's from Fine Molds. And Kotare Models have given us some prototype test shot builds of the 1/32nd BF109K4. This is their release for later in the year. Given us the sprue shots as well. I will say though, it's no engine included, so if you want the engine on display, you either have to buy a resin aftermarket or buy a different manufacturer's kit, because this one does not come with an engine. And in fact, if you think Kotare should put an engine in it, please leave it in the comments, because these manufacturers do read these comments. So if you want that, stick it in, and maybe next time they might listen there. I know this is not a kit, but it is an aftermarket from SBS models. It's just an aftermarket engine for the new AFV Lysander. The kit's proved extremely popular since it's gone on sale, and I'm sure it's a top seller for AFV. And those of you who might want to upgrade some of the parts, well, I just saw this aftermarket engine I thought maybe of interest too, so I've included it. I don't do that normally, but on this occasion I made an exception. And we have an interesting kit here. It's Titan Models kit. It's a 172nd United States Air Force C-32A. It's the US Vice President's Boeing C-32A, and this is coming with a wingspan of 20 inches and a length of 25 inches. So it isn't small, even though it's 172nd. It's quite a large model. Now, the fuselage halves, the wings and top and bottom are vacuum formed, and you need to have some different skills to make this. And Mikromir recently put out some renders of a 1 in 144 scale de Havilland Canada RO6A, and it's going to be released by AMP. Some interesting images indeed. And Clearport Models have released some renders of their new proposed MiG-19P, the Farmer B, which is an all-weather fighter in 1/72nd scale. And Mikromir have also released some images of their AMP 172 britten-norman trislander, which they say is in progress at the moment. And for me, I think this would be the kit of the week. So from Das Werk, an announcement of a Messerschmitt P1101 in 1/32nd scale, full Mark 108 interior, removable engine with wheeled trolley, 4 missiles, and the choice of wings and tail sections. We don't know the price and we don't know the release date yet, but it does look to be an awesome kit. And coincidentally, Amusing Hobby are set to release the Messerschmitt B1101 kit as well, with the two versions, one of those being the night version as well, or the night fighter, sorry. And now we're covering some new toolings from Revell, first of which is this F15E Strike Eagle. This is a new tool and it's coming in 1/72nd scale, and it's a level 4 kit as they do it. And also announced from Revell is their new Lockheed Martin F35A Lightning II. It's going to be in 1/72nd scale as well. That's a new tooling from them, and that too is a level 4 kit. Another announcement of a new tooling from Revell as well is the Messerschmitt BF109 E3. That's going to be in 1/72nd scale as well, and the level 3 kit. And they've also released some images of their announced new tooling of a Gloucester Meteor F8 FR9 first edition. This is going to be in 1/32nd scale, so a lovely model. It's going to be 425mm long, which is well over a foot, probably near coming on for 1.5 feet. Some CAD images and some good detail there. And next up we have a Bristol Bowfighter Mark 6 from Revell. That's going to be in 1/48 scale. New parts coming on that rather than a new tooling, and that's a level 5. And did you know that every week we have over 60% of you are returning viewers, which is an astronomically high amount of viewers on any YouTube channel. So a big shout out and a big thank you to all the regular viewers. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It means a lot. I've just gone over 9,000 subs, so that is, mind-blowing for me, and thank you very much. Anyway, we're going to move on to this new tooling from Revell, the Space Launch System, and that's coming in at 1/144 scale, 90 parts, and that will lead us nicely into the question that we started the video with. So let's have a look at the question and see what the answer is. So, what is the primary purpose of the NASA Space Launch System? Well, if you said it was to support deep space exploration missions, including Artemis, you would have been correct. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.